Hi, I'm Erin Bogda.
And I'm Nicole DeHoda.
And welcome to A Night in the Kitchen, where today we'll be fixing up a new twist on the college classic, ramen noodle salad.
Welcome to A Night in the Kitchen. We're from Gannon University in Erie, PA, and our goal is to provide you with some fast, fun, nutritious food ideas for under a $20 budget.
Now, what's the first thing you think of when you think of ramen noodles? Salad? Alright, maybe not, and me either, but sometimes the most unlikely combinations make the very best creations. And today we're going to be cooking up ramen noodle salad, one of the cheap and unique ways to use ramen noodles.
Now this is something you can cook any time of day, any time of the year. It's not restricted to a certain season. Although if I had to choose a season, I would probably pick the academic year, since that's exactly when we all stock up on cupboards full of ramen noodles to get us through those long nights of studying.
You know, I would have thought that ramen, costing on average about 12 cents per package in most convenience stores, was invented for the sole purpose of feeding hungry college students like us. However, that's not the case. Ramen is actually a Japanese noodle dish that was originated in China, with ramen being the Japanese pronunciation of the Chinese word la mein, or lo mein as we know it, being called hand-pulled noodles.
Now, noodles stepped into the spotlight for the first time in a very big way after the Second World War. And there was a food shortage where ramen was the perfect, inexpensive solution for hungry families on a tight budget. Later in 1958, Momofuku Ando, the founder and chairman of Nissin Foods, invented instant noodles, which was an alternative to the flour and noodle concoction found earlier in the century.
Like it was in 1958, ramen noodles are just as convenient and inexpensive as they ever were, give or take a few cents for inflation. But looking back at the specific dish we'll be making today, the ramen noodle salad, you'll be spending about $19 for the ingredients we'll be using.
Now, you might be wondering how healthy something like this could be, and while noodles do tend to be kind of heavy in carbs, one package of unseasoned ramen noodles only has about 15% of your daily value of carbohydrates, while providing 3 calories from fat. The sunflower seeds and cashews are a good part of any healthy diet, providing lower fat content than other types of snacks, while being rich in heart-healthy nutrients like copper, magnesium, tryptophan, and phosphorus. And according to CalorieCount.com, the coleslaw that we're including in our salad contains about 14% of your daily value of vitamin C, 7% of vitamin A, and 4% of iron.
And speaking of coleslaw, the type we're going to be using today, as long as all types, are originally derived from the leafy wild mustard plant.
Well, now that you know a little bit more about ramen noodles, let's check out someone whose nutrition smarts are unmatched here at Gannon University, Dr. Donna Mughal, who sat down with our very own Lisa and Joe.
Hi, I'm Lisa Lampersky for A Night in the Kitchen, and I'm here with Dr. Donna Mughal, a nutritionist at Gannon University, and she's going to answer some questions for us, like, are ramen noodles really not good for you at all? What food should we eat to stay healthy on a budget? And what nutrients does she think we should get every single day? Dr. Mughal?
My first key guideline is that all foods will fit in a healthy diet, meaning ramen can be a good part of that healthy diet. However, you need to watch the portion. Regarding the special feature of the ramen, it's high in sodium. So if you're watching sodium, it's very important to control the amount of this food that you eat. It is also relatively high in fat for the amount of the portion that is suggested here as a serving. It has a good amount of protein, so that is a good feature. The tip for consumers is to watch how much is the serving is. Is a serving 1 cup? Is it half a cup? Because then it can affect the nutritional composition of the food that you're eating. The big recommendation, I'm closing my eyes, is go with the plants, meaning a plant-based diet. Lots of fruits and vegetables and whole grains and healthy fats coming from your vegetable oils.
Thank you, Dr. Mughal. Once again, that was Dr. Donna Mughal nutritionist at Gannon University. And as we found out, ramen noodles are actually good for you if eaten the proper way. Make sure you get your calcium and eat plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables. Now back to Nicole and Aaron in the kitchen as they finish up making their ramen noodle salad.
Welcome back. Now we're just going to take a few minutes to get everything together that we'll need to make this super easy meal.
Today, we'll need 2 packets of ramen noodles. They usually come in groups of 10 or 12, so you can make as much or as little as you'd like to. Just make sure you check all of your other ingredients into proportion.
Now we'll also need about a half a cup of sugar, and which, I mean, who doesn't love sugar? But for this recipe, we won't be using too much of it because we're trying to eat healthy. So there is sugar in nearly every food and drink that you consume all day. Think about it. You might be watching this and drinking a soda pop right now, and that drink alone has about enough to fill your daily value of sugar. So we'll keep our count relatively low.
Next up, we'll need 1 cup each of sunflower seeds and cashews, which you may have on hand for snacking purposes. Or maybe that's just Nicole.
Well, now we'll need some liquid ingredients, including 1 cup of vegetable oil, 1/3 cup of cider vinegar, which is actually very good for you. If you drink about a half a cup each night, it can increase your energy, treat common ailments, aid in weight loss, and overall physical and mental health.
Alright, now you may be asking, where does the salad portion come in?
Well, this is where the coleslaw comes into play, and you'll need about 1 bag of slaw mix to finish the salad.
For a mix like this, you want to make sure you measure out each ingredient as precisely as possible. You wouldn't want to end up with soggy cashews or super dry coleslaw.
Well, as far as non-food materials go, you will need several finger bowls to place ingredients in, and I found that glass works the best since things don't stick, but you can use whatever type that you have. You'll also need several measuring cups, only 1 if you'd prefer to wash them in between each ingredient, but if you're like me and you don't have time to wash them every time, you'll need several of them. And the normal common sizes that measure about 1/2, 1/3, and a whole cup work the best for this recipe. Now you'll also need 2 large mixing bowls and a wooden spoon.
Alright, we'll show you a little later a few extra ingredients you can add if you choose to add a bit more color, spice, or flavor to your individual salad. If you'd like to use them, you'll need a few peppers of your choice along with a small cutting board.
And as always, don't forget to wash your hands before beginning.
Alright, we've got everything we need, but we're going to take a quick break and step outside so you can get a chance to get all of your ingredients, or if there's anything else you still need. Let's head over to Kyle and Amanda, who caught up with soup guru Chris Roble.
Hey, it's Kyle, and I'm here with Chris Roble, who is a veggie coach, is that right?
Veggie coach, yes, that is correct.
And he works with soups, and you actually made some soups yourself while being this veggie coach.
Correct.
Tell us about that.
Well, what we did is we did a whole focus on 10-minute soups or less, very easy. Just taking a couple things out of your basic pantry, like olive oil, onions, and just some regular chicken stock. And what we did is we took any vegetables that you would have laying around. One of my favorites was asparagus, and all you're going to do is you're going to combine all these, and then you make a soup in 10 minutes or less. So very easy, quick, and healthy ideas.
Okay, now cost-wise, I mean, you said just using stuff that you already have.
Right.
I mean, what if you don't, you know, like me, I don't have a whole lot of vegetables lying around, and some people might not. What were some of the vegetables that you were using?
Well, I mean, one of the soups that we did was just asparagus.
That was all that was in it?
That was all that was in it,
Oh,
asparagus,
wow.
and then when you're sauteing your onions, you're just going to do that, and that's going to add a little bit more flavor. But then when you add your chicken stock and whatnot, it's going to bring out more flavor. Just put in your asparagus and cook it until it's tender, and then you kind of just like puree it a little bit. So I mean, that soup in and of itself is going to cost me about $8, and it's going to feed about 4 people.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, if you have leftovers from going home to your parents and stuff like that, well, that's going to save you a lot more money.
So for college students, very affordable.
Oh, very affordable, and it's very healthy too, because you're not putting anything bad in there. It's all vegetable. So basically, it could be considered a vegetarian option if you use like a vegetable broth.
Mm-hmm. Now, what are some of the other broth? Did you use any like thicker broths or anything?
No, all we did was use either a chicken, a beef, or a vegetable stock. And then when you actually add your vegetables, and if you wanted to puree it for like that creamy consistency, that's going to obviously thicken it up.
Okay, so very cost-effective and a very good idea for most college students.
Oh, yes.
And very easy to do.
Very
which
easy.
Is good, because none of us are master chefs like you.
Of course.
All right, that's all we have here in the kitchen. Back to you guys.